Let's come to this now. The Public Servants Association says it is concerned about some departments' readiness in dealing with employees returning to work. Now, it comes after government eased some lockdown regulations, and some employees have been working from home since the beginning of the national lockdown. But the union is calling for government departments to follow precautionary measures. And for more on this, we're joined by Mr. Lufuno Mulaudzi from the Public Servants Association. Lufuno, thank you so much for your time and good morning to you. I understand that you represent approximately 240,000 employees employed by various government departments, but you are raising concerns about government's state of readiness, particularly during this lockdown, but also after the president had eased the country from level 5 now to level 4. Now, what informed these concerns?
Good morning to Melo and to your viewers. You see, our concerns are based on the fact that when the National Command Council and the President announced easing of regulations to come down from level 5 of the lockdown to level 4, they made it clear that only people in the essential service will return back to work. And then there were a number of regulations that were prescribed by the National Command Council. But we have seen as PSA that it's now like it's free for all. Some departments are calling back their staff back to work, even if they are not rendering essential service. And then we have also noted that some of these departments, they are not yet ready in terms of compliance with COVID-19 regulations. Like, for instance, deep cleansing of office spaces, the departments providing PPEs, and then ensuring that there is social distancing at workplaces. Those things are not happening.
Right. Now, Mr. Mulaudzi, when you say some departments, which departments particularly are you referring to?
The main culprits is the Department of Defense, the National Office in Pretoria, where on the 5th of this month, as PSA, we have to intervene after our members complained that they are being forced to come back to work, only to find out that that department is not ready in terms of compliance with COVID-19 regulations. And that they are not even following the guidelines of occupational health and safety. So we had to intervene. Another department is Home Affairs. At Home Affairs, you have a scenario where that department, in other offices, they've recalled the full complement of their staff without having to conduct screening, without having to provide protective equipment and protective equipment,
right,
to their employees. And then in that particular department, areas of concern are in Lindela, as you might have seen yesterday, where the immigrants are having concern that they don't have those protective masks. The same applies to our members who are employees of that department. It's Lindela, Polokwane, Mpumalanga, Northern Cape, Vembe, Jane Fes, Giani. Those are the offices where Home Affairs is not complying with these regulations.
Now, have you tried to engage with the various departments that you make mention of, amongst them being the Department of Home Affairs, as well as the regions you speak of? Have you, as the PSA, reached out to them?
Yes, like I said, on the 5th of May, we had to intervene at the Department of Home Affairs. of Defense, where we had to engage with the DG there to raise our concern. And then with Home Affairs as well, we have raised concern with Home Affairs that as PSA we are not happy. Because, Tumelo, if you look at it, the National Command Council didn't say everyone must go back to work.
Right.
It was clear that those who are able to work at home, they must be allowed to do so.
I'm running out of time, Mr. Mulaudzi, but because you say you have engaged with the departments, briefly, please, what's been their response then?
No, like for instance, obviously they will say they will try to attend to these issues. But as PSA, we are saying our members must not return to work until these departments comply with the COVID-19 regulations. That's what we are saying.
All right. Well, thank you so much. That's where we'll leave it. Mr. Lufuno Mulaudzi, of course, representing the Public Servants Association, also known as PSA, raising concerns that their employees, or other members which they represent, who are over 240,000 public sector employees, should not return to work, should the various departments not be ready, of course, under this lockdown.